Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. We're the Movie Couple. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And this is our non-spoiler review for The Northman. The Northman is directed by Robert Eggers and stars Alexander Skarsgård and Anya Taylor-Joy. When his father is brutally murdered by his uncle, Prince Amleth escapes and vows to return later to save his mother, kill his uncle, and avenge his father. Well, this was also another movie that we've done this year that well, no, that's a lie. I did see the trailer for this, which is what got me really interested in seeing the movie. Not that, being a fan of Robert Eggers' work already kind of had me interested, but the trailer was very epic.
Oh yeah, it was right up there with like how the Green Knight trailer was. You could tell right off the bat that this was not going to be your stereotypical kind of big blockbuster film. It was very artistically shot, very artistically edited, and the way that they put the trailer together really made you go, oh, okay, this is going to have some artistes kind of just bleeding out of it.
Yeah, and with that said, if you've not seen any Robert Eggers films prior to this one, maybe give them a watch. A lot of you guys will probably know his work, like The Witch, I think in 2018, 2019 was The Lighthouse. I feel like Robert Eggers has a very specific style, so definitely check out some of those movies if you haven't.
I actually didn't sit down and watch the trailer for this movie until we actually had gotten the notification of us going to the screener. Because I was like, Wendy was like, hey, do you want to go see The Northman? And I was like, Northman? Okay, I'll go look up at the trailer. Once Wendy told me that it's Robert Eggers and, he's done like The Lighthouse and The Witch, I was like, okay. Watched the trailer, had a much better understanding of what I was going into. And then even right before we got to the screening, Wendy and I had heard people going, oh, it's like Lion King. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
How is it like Lion King? I mean, maybe more like Hamlet.
And even then,
that's a little bit of a stretch, because once you start seeing, there are some moments in this movie that are very graphic.
So just to give you guys a little bit of insight, that comment wasn't from anybody that was at the screening. I don't want you guys to get confused about that. I was talking to a fellow critic friend who had seen it and reviewed it, and then somebody in their comment section happened to have seen it as well. I don't know if they're also a journalist or a critic, but they, were able to get into a screening, which is great. And they're like, oh, it's just like The Lion King. And I'm like, do you know Robert Eggers? Because I just don't feel like that's... In any case, it is not like The Lion King, okay? So get that out of your head already.
No matter what two movies you're taking to compare, you can always find some similarity in the plot points or something similarities between the characters and be able to say, well, it's just like this. There are definitely similarities to this storyline and maybe something like Hamlet. I feel like if you take any two movies, you can always connect some threads of similarity between those two movies. But for this one, that's pretty much where it ends, is maybe that thin similarity of a prince coming to avenge his father who was killed by his uncle. And then everything else, though, is very artistically done of Norse mythology. I love the connection between that, and I did like just the epicness of this storyline.
Yeah, it's quite epic. I love the way in this film he played a lot with different color tones. So when we're kind of living in the prince Amleth, who is played by Alexander Skarsgård, when we're kind of following him in his day-to-day life, it's color is as real as like you and I would see it. But when we go into a little bit more, we dive into a little bit more of the fantastic, a little bit more of the mythological stuff, the color is very toned down, almost gray tone, black and white a little bit, like very muted. And I really like that a lot. And I also want to give props to whoever did the sound design. Is so epic. The notes of the significance of like the start of a new scene with the title card, it's very loud. The whole movie was loud, but not in a distractive, like I can't stand it way. It's sort of, it gets you in your soul. Like the entire movie, you feel like you have this fire burning inside you as you're watching him try to survive and exact his revenge. And I don't want to give too much away of what happens at the end, But the music and the sound effects and the sound design definitely like struck a chord with me throughout the movie, and I enjoyed that very much.
And something else that I have to give props to is Alexander Skarsgård. Not only did he have an incredibly fit body, but he had like his abs had abs, and the intensity. I mean, you could tell that he just dove head first into this character. Not only is he insanely physically fit, but just the intensity of this character the entire time. Everyone does an incredible job of just these intense moments, and it's just very heavy.
It's brutal.
It is heavy. Yeah. It is brutal, and it is very much poetic. A poetic movie-going experience.
Yeah, it just falls right into, Robert Eggers' style. His the dialogues aren't really, it doesn't even feel like a dialogue. I feel like I'm listening to poetry.
Yeah.
And it's something beautiful about that. And I also, you were talking about Alexander Skarsgård being very intense. He's paired with, obviously Nicole Kidman is in this as well, but this time she plays his mother, and it's not the first time that these two have worked together. They actually worked together. They were a couple for Pretty Little Lies, so I think that is the show. So I just thought that was funny. It's like, they were husband and wife, and now they're, mother and son, which I, as obviously when they had the younger prince that I could see, but once he grew, I couldn't get the image of the two of them in a TV show out of my head. But phenomenal acting all around. Anya Taylor-Joy has some of the best lines in the film, I thought. I really enjoyed her performance. Won't give those away so you guys can enjoy as much as I did. And then to give you guys a little, if you're not used to Robert Eggers films, just know that it is graphic. You're going to see violence. You're going to see blood. There is some, there's animals involved, and if you're an animal lover, you might want to just go and be prepared about that. If you've seen Robert Eggers films, I feel like you maybe have an understanding of, especially of a story of revenge, you probably can picture in your head what kind of a movie you're about to sit down for.
I also feel like this movie was very high art. So if you don't like these kinds of movies, I have to admit, it was very hard for me personally to make connections, it is very intense, it is very beautifully shot, the music is just, like when you said, it grabs you by the soul. But if you're not into that kind of art, I actually had a hard time really connecting with the characters because they don't really talk the way I believe like real people would talk. It is very much like what we said. It's kind of listening to poetry. Yeah. And just like poetry, it's not for everyone. I actually found myself going in and out of being able to really connect with the story.
So with that said, should we go ahead and rate the movie?
Sure.
You want to go first or want me to go first?
I'll go first. Honestly, I can see how this can be appreciated by a lot of people. There were a lot of beautiful things, a lot of beautiful cinematography, beautiful sets, beautiful sounds, beautiful acting, the intensity, Alexander Skarsgård's abs on abs. However, I'm going to say that this isn't really for me. This is not for me. This isn't the kind of film that I really enjoy watching, but I can really see how someone out there who likes these kind of films would enjoy it and would have a good time.
It's interesting. For Robert Eggers' previous film, The Lighthouse, I appreciate it for the vision and the story he was telling, but I also rated that movie when I saw it at TIFF. Not for me. For this one, though, I connected with it a bit more, and I also forgot to mention the landscape where they shot on location. Absolutely stunning, and I really enjoyed following the story and the journey and the arc of all of these characters. So with that, and I feel like this movie with the sound design should be seen in theaters so you can feel your seat vibrates or your soul vibrates with the sound. So I'm going to give this movie a matinee. So with that said, those are our ratings. The movie couple rating scale rating system is listed in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. If you've seen The Northman, let us know your thoughts in the comment section as well. We will see you in the next review.